Hi guys, welcome from Bulgaria. I'm Anton. Just a quick personal note. Sorry for not uploading a new video from our Selenium 4 tutorial in the last 2 weeks. I really wasn't in the mood, and I really don't think it was appropriate to upload such videos, considering the situation, as you know, about the Russian aggression in Ukraine. They're our neighbors. I really live really close to them. I have many friends there. So here in Bulgaria, we try to help them with any means necessary. So yeah, anyway, we'll continue with our series and with the new video. So let me share my screen. In the past 4 videos, we talked first how to upgrade from Selenium 3 to Selenium 4. Then we talked about the new relative locators. Then I showed you really advanced new capabilities of initialization scripts, how you can put and display notification messages and even highlight on actions in WebDriver. And in the last video, we talked about the new Selenium IDE next generation and the new Selenium Grid capabilities. In this new video from our LambdaTest Selenium 4 tutorial, we are going to talk about geolocation testing using bidirectional and CDP API. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel of LambdaTest. Each week there are new awesome videos, so hit the ring bell so that you get notified. Also, you can check the LambdaTest blog because there are really awesome articles about geolocation testing and the other types of testing that we're going to talk about. Now, before looking into the code directly and show you how you can use the CDP, we're going to discuss some other types of testing that are related to geolocation testing. Probably you heard the terms internationalization, localization, and geolocation testing. And they mean different things, so let's review them, and later I will show you how to do these types of testing using the CDP Java code. They have the same goal to ensure an exceptional user experience for global market users. So first, what is localization? It is basically, it helps you to adapt the UI and the content for a specific region or locale. Also, it takes into consideration the region's cultural and linguistic specifics. And during these types of testing, we may verify translated text, address format sequence, keyboard usage, visual aligned to the culture, time currency formats, and many more. If you need to manually perform such testing, we can use the developer tools, as you can see depicted in the image, to simulate these coordinates, right? And later I will show you how to do this with code. Another example, if you are, for example, AliExpress user, you can choose your preferred language, and the page content will be translated into this language. This is where localization comes into the picture, where the contents are localized to meet the requirements of the specific culture and region. And here in the image, you can see AliExpress in Japanese. Then another type of testing is internationalization testing. It is also known as globalization testing, and it focuses more on product features and capabilities that allow the app to be used globally. For example, be able to change the language of the website, as here in the AliExpress image. Things we may check our support for multiple languages, support for different time zones. In a minute, I'm going to show you another example. Support for various number formats. For example, text in other formats such as left to right, right to left. And another globalization feature of these websites is here. is offering personalized items based on where you are located. This is my, homepage for AliExpress, where because I like IoT gadgets, and this is why they offer me such gadgets, right? Another example is Amazon Kindle Countdown Deals feature. Here, as you can see, you have a discount based on the time zone. As I said, it's related to the time zone of the user. And I took this screenshot with US time zone. And then I took this one with Australian time zone configured. And Australia is 16 hours ahead of Washington, DC, USA. So the deal wasn't yet active there. So the time zone testing is something that you want to consider. And then the geolocation testing, as I said, it's related to where you are, and all of these things can be like in a minute. I'm going to show you another example, but as the name suggests, geolocation testing is a type of testing where you perform tests on your website from IPs from various countries worldwide. And there are a few types of geolocation testing. For example, geofencing is a method to send notifications to your users through mobiles by leveraging the geography areas specified to the user while using your web application. For example, last week I was on a vacation in Barcelona, Spain, and I received notifications from my booking application regarding local places to visit, right? Another type of geolocation testing is GeoTagging. It allows you to put geographical tag over social media elements such as photos, videos, QR codes, etc. And you can use this geotagging. Using the geotagging, you can implement geography-based authentication through QR code identification or on your web application. And another thing that you might consider is testing is GeoBlocking. We use it to apply restrictions to our website concerning the laws and norms of the country. Many online streaming companies such as Disney, Netflix, HBO, and more use geo-blocking to deliver rich media content based on their country norms. For example, while I was in Spain, our Bulgarian TV online is not available there, and they block it by IP. I guess it's something related to payments in Spain, I don't know. So let's now see how you can do geolocation testing and do all these types of testing through code. And we are going to use the new Selenium 4 Chrome DevTools integration. I'm going to probably, if you watched my JUnit tutorial on the LambdaTest channel, we had a special video about geolocation testing, especially in the cloud. It was a little bit different, but there we use this website GPS coordinates to show geolocation testing. Basically, it detects where you are, your coordinates, it displays them here. You can get the latitude and longitude. And then from distance here, we can calculate the first, basically the distance between two locations. And our test is typing, basically it's getting the city from here, then it's typing the name as first location, and then we measure the distance between Berlin, Germany to our current location, and we verify the distance. This is our test. In order to use Chrome Developer Tools, your primary website that you need to check is, of course, the Selenium documentation. Here on the WebDriver, you have bidirectional. If you navigate to the bidirectional API, which is the suggested one to use, you will see that there isn't a documentation about yet geolocation testing. This is why we are going to use the Chromium-specific DevTools integration, which means that basically you can use it only with Chrome and Edge because they use the Chromium engine. You cannot use this with Firefox, for example. However, I will show you a way how you can do that. So you can, as you can see here in Java, we can emulate geolocation by starting, basically you get the DevTools instance, we create the session, and then we need to send the emulation set geolocation override command. And as you can see, we have here some parameters that we need to provide. This is the coordinates, right? As I explained in the previous video, you can directly navigate to Chrome DevTools Protocol documentation of GitHub.io, and you can check all of these commands here and domains. Here, I directly opened the emulation one. And as you can see here, the third command is clear, and here we have set geolocation override. When I navigate to it, here we see actually the parameters, longitude, longitude, and accuracy. So basically, even if you don't have the direct, code implementation of this, because not all of them are available, you can still execute these commands. Now let's check the code. Before looking into the actual Chrome DevTools integration, this is going to work only on our local machine. In a minute, I'm going to show you how you can execute it in the cloud, in the LambdaTest cloud. Anyways, first, before all tests, we execute the WebDriver manager to download the driver. And the simplest test that I have is basically we navigate to the GPS coordinates website. Then when you are in incognito mode, you receive this consent pop-up. And basically I'm setting just the cookie to pass through it. Then I have defined a new method called wait and find element to navigate to this map that I showed you before. Basically, inside of this method, I'm using the locator. Basically, this is the native WebDriver locator. Then we use WebDriver wait to wait for this element to appear. And once it's loaded, we scroll with JavaScript to the map because it's not loaded before that. We need to scroll with the mouse. Then this feature about getting our location is triggered and is displaying this pop-up. This is why we need to scroll. Again, I'm not typing the code because basically it's not so essential as actually how we use DevTools. This is why I'm going just quickly to show you what we do. Then we get the address title, basically this thing here. We locate this title and we split it. This is what I do. We split it and we get the current address. Then we navigate to the second, to this page here. Then I type the first location, second location, I calculated it, and then I verify this text here. This is what I do. So here it is. I find the first address by ID, then I set the current address that we get from the previous page that basically the website detected where we are. Then I type the second address. I basically find true XPath button text equal to calculate the distance. I click it. As you can see here, we use the action. First, I move the mouse to the button, then I click it. For some reason, maybe there is some kind of a JavaScript there. Otherwise, if you just perform normal click, it won't work. But this is why you have the actions class part of WebDriver that you can drag and drop and perform other more advanced actions. And then I get the distance and I verify it. That's it. Now, I want to show you how you can use the DevTools protocol. As I said, we initialize first the Chrome driver, the same way you can use Edge. Then we maximize the browser full screen. Then we get the get DevTools. This is how, and after that, you need to create the session. And after that, you use the send method where you need to pass these three. Basically, you pass the command, and this is our command here, right? Emulation. This is a static. This is a class that contains static methods. This set geolocation override, and because it accepts optional, you need to create this optional parameters. Optional means that it can be null as well. So we use these factory methods to initialize the optional. And I found basically these are the coordinates for Berlin, Germany. Also, another thing that I wanted to show you, if for some reason you need to override the time zone the way that I showed you before in the examples in the images, you have another method called set time zone override, and you need to provide the name of the time zone. In our case, this is Europe, Berlin. And also I have another method for overriding the locale. In this case, this is the Deutschland, Germany. And basically this will trigger the browser to show the other language. In most cases, this will be enough for you to simulate this geolocation stuff and test most of the stuff that I show you during the presentation. In a minute, I'm going to explain. Just keep in mind that we are not simulating actually real location by IP. So in many cases, if your application is using another service, like detecting the IP, and based on it, it determines the location of the user, and it's not using the sensors of the browser, then probably this won't work. There are many cases where this is true. If you need to execute all of this in the cloud, as we discussed in the previous videos, LambdaTest Cloud Platform already supports Selenium 4. This is now basically the test is absolutely identical to what I showed you before. If you want to execute the same test but in the cloud, you know, because you want to execute it against different browser versions, in order to make it work, let me show you the different capabilities. Basically, here we get the username and authentication key. Then, of course, we just name that we want to use Chrome latest version. We need to provide this hash map where we put the user, the access key, the build, the name of the test, then the platform, which is Windows 10 or Windows 11 if you want. Then, for sure, you need to make sure to include this CDP capability, otherwise this won't work. And you need to mention that you want to use Selenium 4. Then we built basically the URL, we initialize the remote WebDriver, and the next really important step is that you need to use Augmenter. And this Augmenter decorator, we need to execute augment driver. If we navigate to the documentation, you will see that actually we have this source code here. You can get it. It's actually it works for Selenium Grid in general, no matter whether it's in the commercial clouds or not. But you need to make sure to use the augmenter. Otherwise, you won't be able to send these commands over the wire. And then we just, again, initialize WebDriver wait actions, but passing the augmented driver. And the next thing, everything is completely the same. Basically, we are just, getting the DevTools object, then we create a session, we send the command, and you can do the same with the time zone and locale. And here is my LambdaTest account. As you can see, I already executed the test on Chrome 98, Windows 10. And here is the video of the same test that I executed already. As you can see, it simulates everything. It's completely the same test. One thing that you may consider, again, if you watched my JUnit Selenium videos in the LambdaTest channel, is that, as I said, for example, if you want to test this GeoBlocking, or your website is, again, locating your place via IP, then this DevTools integration won't work. And then you can use probably if you watched my other videos on the LambdaTest channel, you know that we have these two LambdaTest capabilities generator. And LambdaTest has one really awesome feature that many other clouds don't. It has native geolocation capability. Here you can set different places. And as you can see, we have another capability called geolocation, and here you provide the country code. And basically, it will run the test directly from this particular country with this particular IP address, and then you can simulate and test whatever you want. Also, you can directly here override the time zone without using the CDP. Which means that you can test this geolocation stuff even on different browsers that don't support Chrome DevTools, which is really awesome. Just keep in mind that this is just going to run the test from this country's IP address, and you won't be able to simulate directly the longitude and the different coordinates, right? If you just want to test exactly the map, right? So you may want to use them in combination, which is completely fine. I think that's all of it. In the next video from our Selenium 4 course, we're going to talk about responsive testing using the bidirectional and Chrome DevTools Protocol APIs. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and wait for it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below. Also, you will find many useful information in the description below, and you can download, of course, the full source code there. Again, check the LambdaTest blog because there are many awesome articles there. And don't forget to get your certification on their website about Selenium JUnit. See you in the next video. Bye. Take care.